Millions of years ago, before becoming modern humans, prehistoric apes fought for survival in a deadly world. In the jungles, they lived beside cave lions, colossal cave bears, and leopards lurking in the shadows. Venomous king cobras haunted the forest floor, while on the dry plains, giant woolly mammoths roamed, symbols of power and danger. Amid these threats, the apes learned to endure, taking the first steps on humanity's long journey of evolution. Prehistoric apes stood 1 to 1.2 meters tall, with sturdy, fur-covered bodies. Long arms with curved fingers for climbing, short legs with broad feet, faces projected forward with large jaws, sloping foreheads and small skulls, 400 to 500 cm3 brain. They moved on all fours, but began attempting upright walking. Ancient apes left the arid lands, crossed vast grasslands, and finally found life within the dense jungle. In the shadowy depths of the primeval jungle, where sunlight barely pierced the dense canopy and predators lurked unseen, the ancient apes charged toward a towering fruit-laden tree. With lightning speed, they climbed high into the branches, seizing the sweet bounty, a rare prize in their relentless struggle for survival. High upon the towering branches of an ancient tree, the prehistoric apes, weary from roaming the jungle, finally discovered a precious source of life. With agile leaps, they moved from limb to limb, rough hands reaching for the ripe, swollen fruits. The rustling of leaves mixed with cries of joy that echoed through the canopy. Together they gathered on the broad branches, sitting close in a circle, tearing open the fruits and sharing them. Sweet dews dripped down their shaggy fur as golden beams of fading sunlight pierced the dense leaves, casting a warm glow across their primitive faces. In that fleeting moment, surrounded by danger yet hidden in the safety of the heights, they knew the simple joy of unity and survival. On a broad branch, the group of apes gathered together after their meal. Two of them sat face to face, their hands gesturing and pointing, while guttural cries and sharp hoots escaped their mouths, a primitive exchange of meaning, observed with curiosity by the rest of the group. On a shaded branch of the towering tree, amid the group's daily life, two apes sat close together. One gently parted the thick fur, carefully picking out lice, while the other tilted its head, eyes half closed in trust. In a wild and perilous world, this tender moment became a bond of care, the quiet strength that held the group together and ensured their survival. As night fell, the apes slept high in the branches to escape predators. For the first time, the apes beheld the sunrise from the towering treetops, where golden light broke across the sky. Yet with the sunrise came new dangers. After a hungry night, predators stirred to hunt, most notably the wild leopard prowling silently beneath the forest canopy. Chased by the leopard, the apes scattered in panic, scrambling up the towering trees to save themselves. After fleeing predators, the apes stumbled upon a deep river, shimmering in the sun. With cries of joy, they leapt one by one into the cool water, splashing foam high. Their hoots and splashes echoed through the forest as some dived, others chased each other, and the young clung to their mothers. In a world of danger, the river became their refuge, a place of joy, survival, and fleeting freedom. After playing in the river, the apes spread along the bank to gather dry branches, vines, and broad leaves. They dragged them back, clumsily joining small trunks into crude frames. Large leaves were layered on top, forming roofs for shade and shelter. Their gestures were awkward, yet marked by persistence and instinct. Soon, small huts appeared by the riverside, the earliest signs of a home. Cold rain poured outside, wind howling through the jungle. Inside the hut, a mother ape cradled her infant, shielding it as firelight flickered on their tender moment. An ape struck into a termite mound. The soil cracked and countless insects poured out, eagerly devoured by the group. Once their hunger was briefly eased, they gathered beneath the trees, hefting large stones to smash open hard nuts and roots. Shells shattered, revealing the food within, which they consumed greedily. The sharp clash of stone and their cries echoed through the forest, the raw soundtrack of survival. The ancient apes gathered on the mountainside, clawing into the earth with rough, powerful hands. Dirt flew as small hollows deepened into crude caves. Sweat and dust clung to their shaggy fur, yet they kept digging with fierce determination. At last, the first primitive shelters appeared, fragile fortresses carved from stone and soil, offering rare safety against the dangers of the wild. After a long day, the apes moved to the river in search of food. They splashed in, clumsy hands grabbing at darting fish, but the slippery prey always escaped. Refusing to give up, some tried long sticks, others struck the water with stones to drive fish closer. Awkward and often failing, yet in that moment survival pushed them to adapt, the first small spark of creativity on their path of evolution. After repeated failures, some apes grasped heavy stones and struck them against dry branches. Blow after blow, the wood tips flattened, then sharpened into crude spears. Growls of excitement echoed as they brandished these new tools and returned to the river. Water splashed high as they plunged in, gripping their sharpened sticks, thrusting down at the darting fish. Splashes mixed with triumphant cries. In the river, the first fish was pierced, a hard-won prize. The apes stood in the water, raising crude weapons, howling, chest-thumping, as water sprayed around them in their first victory over nature. At dusk, the jungle stormed with torrential rain, thunder splitting the sky. In the chaos, the apes scattered for shelter. Some huddled beneath the trees, tearing down broad leaves to shield their heads, pressing close together against the icy downpour. Others clung to high branches, shivering as the rain drenched their shaggy bodies. Their cries mixed with the roar of the storm, a raw and primal scene of survival against nature's fury. After the rain, charred branches smoldered from a lightning strike. Curious apes picked them up, and flames flared, stunning the group. They gathered around the fire, eyes filled with fear and wonder, as its warmth chased away the damp cold. Soon they placed their freshly caught fish over the flames, watching in awe as the meat sizzled, their first taste of fire-cooked food. Meals of fish began to sharpen their minds, giving them new strength to endure. As they gathered around the fire, they shared food, warmth, and the first spark of unity. The glow of the flames pushed back the night, holding away the shadows and the predators beyond, a fragile light guiding them toward the dawn of humanity. At dawn, sunlight pierced the misty jungle, glistening on the damp earth as the ancient apes slowly emerged from their shelters. Step by step, they left the safety of the trees and entered the vast savanna, a world filled with both promise and peril. Their hunched silhouettes cast long shadows across the grasslands, and within those shapes, the first faint outlines of humanity began to appear, a new chapter in the long story of evolution.